Welcome. I did type in there, grab something that you can use as a block this morning. And then once you do that, you can go ahead and settle into the mat. Take a child's pose to start. Collective breath when you get there. Such is life, right? Sometimes things don't go as smoothly as you would hope, and that's okay. I'm really grateful to be here. We've got 60 minutes to flow. I hope this class finds you well. I woke up this morning and I was thinking about my younger years. I was thinking about when I lived just outside of Portland, and I used to go to the Portland Saturday Market all the time. It was one of my favorite things to do, and I would go with friends, and I'd go with my family sometimes. And it's like an art and craft open air market. Super fun. And I have such fond memories of doing that. And one time I went with my mom, and I was feeling kind of down. I was probably in my early 20s. And she bought me this bracelet, this silver bracelet, and it had etched into it two statements. The first, walk in beauty, and the second, stay true to your journey. And for whatever reason, when I woke up this morning, I was thinking about that bracelet, and I wore it until it literally broke off my arm. And it became a mantra and an anchor in my life. It became a filter that I ran things through. And I want to unpack it just a little bit, and I want to consider it on our mats and maybe give you a little something to take off of your mat. Walk in beauty. And that doesn't mean, to me, anything superficial. To me, it means be proud of who I am. Hold my head up high. Walk in beauty. Understand that I am a worthy being. And stay true to my journey. When there's a fork in the road or when things seem difficult, that I listen to what feels most authentic for me. And those two things, I think, are my life's practice. I sometimes am good at one or both of those things, and sometimes I epically fail. But that failure is just space for learning, I think. And it came into my mind today. And as we're on our mats, I want you to think about that. Wherever you're at, however you're moving on your mat, whatever you feel in your body, bringing that sense of pride and authenticity to it, and what that might offer for insight, for comfort, and for curiosity. And that's it. So, in your child's pose, with your toes together, your knees wide, your hips heavy, your forehead grounded, your palms grounded, the front of your heart soft. Take a deep breath in that expands your ribs in all four directions. And then open your mouth as if you're to fog a mirror and gently let the breath out. Find yourself here in this moment. Give yourself permission and pride to be authentic. Travel both sets of fingers over to the left corner of the mat. You can stack your right palm on top of the left. You can adjust your forehead. Keep your hips heavy. And intentionally send your breath into your right rib cage. So we're creating length in the right side of the body. You might keep your right hand where it is and then reach your left hand all the way off the left side. So you've got more of an open shape. Hips evenly rooting towards the heels. And then in the next breath or so, make your way through center and do the same thing to the other side. Hips still heavy, still neutral, and breath out, intentionally directed to the left side of the body. Hands are long, pressing into the ribs. And stretch those right fingers out even further to the right side. And then make your way back to center. Your fingers go as far forward as they can. You might even tend your fingers so you've got length. And then imagine the back getting longer so that the crown of your head moves towards those fingers. As you breathe out, let your hips sink even heavier. On your next inhale, roll yourself forward into a tabletop position. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Put a little softness into the elbows and track them towards one another. Widespread fingers pressing at the base of your pointer finger and that inside lip of your thumb. Engage the navel against the spine so that your tail and your crown move away from one another. Take a deep breath in just at this neutral spine, and then open your mouth and let it out. Now breathing through your nose on the inhale, drop your belly, lift the crown and tail. Exhale, cap the spine, round into yourself and drop your head heavy. Follow your breath to continue these two shapes. This familiar simplicity, moving around, beginning to wake up the spine, and let your body find the breath. We're just going to take maybe 3 more rounds of this. We'll revisit it again. On your next exhale, come back to a neutral spine. Even pressure both hands. As you inhale, send your right leg back behind you, a little point and flex of your foot, maybe a roll of the ankle. Keep the waist toned so that your hips are level. And then you're going to bend your knees so that your heel is above your knee, putting a little flex into your right foot. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, opening the hip, circle your right knee towards your right elbow. Inhale, send it back, lifting at the heel. Exhale, round through the hip, bringing your knee towards your elbow. Inhale, send it back like a scorpion's tail. Exhale, round knee to elbow. Inhale, send it back. Keep the heel lifted and then extend your heel, pressing it firmly towards the back of the mat. Send your right toes off the left side of the mat. Peek over your left shoulder and slightly soften the left elbow. So that length in the side body that we felt in child's pose, we can feel even further here, extending out your right heel. One more breath. On the exhale, neutral so that your heel is straight back from the hips and drop your toes down at the back of the mat. Push out through your right heel. You're going to feel a little rounding behind the heart. Send your gaze down between your hands. Breathe in. As you exhale, pull your left knee up into your chest. Send your left leg high and back, 3-legged down dog. Roll out through this ankle. Even pressure through both hands. Right heel heavy. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale even longer. As you exhale, squeeze your left heel towards your seat. Roll forward, pulling your thigh back towards your chest, and step your left foot through. Tense your fingers. Exhale, straighten out your left leg. Pull your left hip towards the back of the mat. A pyramid variation. You can be on the ball of your right foot. Relaxing the head. pressing through the base of your left big toe. Exhale, roll forward into a lunge. You're going to drop down on your back knee. And I want this to be a boxy lunge. So the front knee over the ankle, the back knee under the hip. You can have your back toes curled for stability, and then imagine front heel pulling back in space as you rise up. Hands to your hips. Tailbone draws down. Keep your left hand on your left hip. Grasshopper it back. Send your right hand out in front of you, palm open towards the center of the mat. Breathe in, tall spine. As you breathe out, slide your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Exhale, take just a little twist. Hand stays at the hip, elbow pulling back, tailbone down. Exhale to neutral. Extend the arm back out in front of you, and then bring your hands down. As you breathe out with the back knee down, rock hips toward back of mat, curl toes towards face, Ardha Hanumanasana. It's early in practice, so we're just kind of getting a sense of things. Roll yourself forward. Plant your hands, come up off of that back knee. Extend your left leg back behind you again, three-legged dog. Bend into the knee, stack the hip and open it. Left on top of right. Level off your hips. Drop your left toes down to meet your right in a downward facing dog. First regular down dog of practice. Take some pedals through the legs. Some yeses and nos through the head. Settle yourself in. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, rise up onto the balls of your feet and roll yourself forward to a high plank. So your heels are over your toes, your shoulders are over your wrists. You have the option to drop to knees if you prefer. Pull your waist in, push the heels so that the crown grows long and elbows track towards one another. On the exhale, let's lower all the way down. Flip the tops of your feet, hands under your shoulders, elbows back, peel the chest up, little baby cobra. Soften as you breathe out. We'll do 2 more of those with your breath. Inhale, roll yourself up to a tabletop position. Check in with your foundations, and then moving through more cat and cow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the crown and tail. Exhale, round in. Now let yourself move a little more freely here. So it can be that front to back articulation, but it can also be whatever your body is craving. It's that authenticity. Staying true to your journey. Find your way back towards neutral. Extend your left leg back behind you. Heel, hip, and heart in one line, a little point flex or roll through the ankle. And then bend the knee so that your heel is over your knee in that scorpion tail shape. Breathe in. As you exhale, round the hip open, bringing your left knee towards your left elbow. Send it back, lift up through the heel, breathe in. Exhale, round through the knee, pull it towards your tricep. Inhale, send it back. Last time, we're just lubricating the hip. Back towards that scorpion tail. Extend the toes long, and then bring your left toes off the right edge of the mat. Soften your right elbow, look over your right shoulder. Breathe into the left ribs. Neutralize the leg and drop your left toes down at the back of the mat. Push out through the heel. When you do that, you'll feel a little swell behind the heart. Pull your belly in. Look between your hands as you exhale, right knee up and into your chest. Extend your right leg up and back. Down, reach for legs. Next time you breathe out, roll forward, heel towards your seat, thigh towards your chest. Step your foot through. Pull your hips back. Straighten out your right leg. Bring your heart towards your thigh. Rolling forward, come into that low lunge. Drop the back knee down. Nice and boxy. Back toes are curled for stability. Front heel is imagining its way towards your back leg. Rise up when you feel steady. Right hand to your hip. Left arm extends out in front of you. So we're not reaching out through the shoulder. The shoulder is plugged in. There's just length there and a nice tall spine. Belly in, tail towards your left knee. Inhale, grasshopper the elbow back. Exhale, slide your left hand to the outside of your right knee. A little press into yourself to take this twist. We're not forcing things. We're just checking in. Exhale, bring it out. Arm reaches out in front of you, and then hands down to the mat. Pull your hips back one more time, anchored through your left knee this time, Ardha Hanumanasana. Roll it forward. Come up off your back knee. Plant your hands. Three-legged down dog again. Right leg to the sky. This time, heel to the seat, stacking right hip on top of left. Open it up. Level yourself off. Lowering your right toes, downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Let's walk our feet to the top of the mat. Ragdoll when you get there, at least hip width distance with your feet. Heavy head, relaxed upper body, supported on your thighs. Move the weight around in your feet so that you feel evenly distributed front to back, inside to outside of the feet. Your toes might even lift and spread. And if a little sway in the upper body helps you to relax here, take it. We'll take 2 more breaths just as we are. All right, well, now with your knees soft, arms heavy, slowly start to roll yourself up. Imagine one vertebra at a time, stacking. Keep your arms by your sides. Let your head be the last thing that lands on your shoulders, and the shoulders slide down your back so that your palms are softly open towards the front of the mat. Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a moment here. You can keep the gaze soft or blink your eyes closed to set the intention of your practice. What does it look like for you today to walk in beauty and stay true to your journey? Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Hands to your heart. Feel it in as you breathe out. And then again, inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, hinge at the waist, release, and pour yourself forward into a fold. We'll come halfway up as you breathe in and release all the way down as you breathe out. Now with soft knees but a long spine, sweep your arms wide and high as you rise up, hands meeting overhead. Exhale, palms to your heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, release and forward fold, coming all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Let's plant our hands and step our way back to a high plank. Bring this shape to life in your body today. Now that can mean really firing it up strong, or it can be a little more compassionate, lowering knees. Let the breath move all the way around your heart. On the exhale, slowly lower down. Flipping your feet, peel the chest up, elbows track back. Lower down as you breathe out. Inhale, coming through tabletop or a high plank on your way to a downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale back onto the balls of your feet. Let your knees soften and then shift the gaze forward. As you exhale, lightly lift the hips and step your feet to the top of the mat. We'll halfway lift on the breathe in, release on the breathing out. Press through your feet nice and tall. Root rise, reach. Hands to the heart, breathe out. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, dive and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place your fingertips on the mat. Step your left foot to the back of the mat. We're going to rise to a crescent lunge. So your legs are in two tracks, front knee over the ankle. And as you rise up, your arms float. Now, if your low back needs it, you can keep the back knee a little bit soft, or you can start to lift the back of the knee, pressing out through the heel, mindfully moving your right hip back in space and pulling your waist in so you're not collapsing in the low back. Okay, right hand to your hip, tracking your right elbow back. Left arm reaches out in front of you. Everything stays squared forward. We're going to play with that same twist we took in our low lunge. Inhale, nice and tall. Pitch the crown forward just slightly, like you're reaching out for someone. Exhale, slide your back of your hand or your forearm to the outside of your right thigh. Inhale long. Exhale, peek up over your right shoulder. The hand on the hip, helping to direct that right hip back in space. Keep lifting behind the left knee. Breathe. Inhale, rise up, unsliding that arm. Both arms reach up overhead. Exhale, we'll take a warrior two. So we pivot open towards the left edge of the mat, front knee over the ankle, power in your back leg to sink down. Relax through your shoulders. Flip your forward palm, tip up, tip back. Legs never move. On the exhale, windmill your hands down to frame your front foot. You come to the ball of your back foot, stepping your right foot back, plank, lowering yourself down to the mat. You can go halfway or all the way. Flip the feet, lift the heart, cobra, or if you're ready, upward facing dog. And then right away, into that downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Step your feet close and down dog. Stretch your left leg up behind you on your inhale. On the exhale, left heel to the seat, roll forward, knee to nose, thigh to chest. Step your left foot through. You'll spin the back heel down. Oh, excuse me, you'll keep up on the ball of the back foot. You're rising, crescent lunge, second side. Relax the shoulders. Left hand, left hip, track the left elbow back. Stretch your right arm out in front of you. I spread my fingers wide so that I feel the energy moving through my arm. Tall spine. Keep tracking the left hip back as you reach forward just slightly. On the exhale, slide your right hand to the outside of the thigh. It's hand, or if you're ready for it, forearm. Left hand brings the hip back. Exhale, look over the left shoulder. Maybe you stretch the arm up. Maybe not. Rise back up, releasing the arm, both hands float up overhead. Exhale, warrior two. Make the adjustments. Feel your beauty in this shape. Lift your forward palm, tip up, tip back. Reaching up and out of the waist, strong through the legs. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the foot. Step your right foot to the top of the mat to find a fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Press through your feet, root to rise, reach up tall, toes touch, sink your hips down and back, Utkatasana. Relax the shoulders, pull the space below your belly button away from your thighs and let the weight come towards your heels. Hands to your heart. Release, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Plant your hands, step your way back. High plank to low. Lift your heart. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. 3 breaths in and out. Use these moments in the familiarity of down dog, not to check out of your practice, but to really notice what is going on for you. Inhale, rise up onto the balls of your feet, soften your knees, shift your gaze forward. Exhale, step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Root to rise, reach up tall. Let's go right back down again, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down, fingertips on the mat. This time we're going to step the right foot to the back of the mat, spin the right heel down, and rise, Virabhadrasana 1. So front knee over the ankle, and this time in Vira 1, you're grounded through your back foot. Use your hands to direct your hips. Keep buoyancy in that back leg so you can sink in. When you're ready, arms can float up overhead. Press to the outside edge of your back foot. Heart and hips drawing forward. Now reach for your right wrist with your left hand. Grow your crown towards your fingers. And then as you exhale, take just a little arc over to the left. So we're pressing through the outside edge of that back foot and we're growing up and out of the waist on the right side of the body. Come back to a regular warrior 1. Part the hands, breathe in. Exhale, bring your hands down to frame the foot. Step it back and take a flow. Downward facing dog. Step your feet close. Right leg is going to reach up behind you. Squeeze the heel towards the seat, the thigh to the chest, and step your foot through. Spin down onto the back heel. Warrior 1, rise up. We find the steadiness in the low half of the body. Grab for the left wrist. Now the length isn't coming by tugging your arm up and out of the shoulder. You want your shoulders to relax. You want the crown to reach towards the fingers. And then the arc is just furthering that expression. Back to neutral, part the hands, breathe in. Exhale, bring your fingertips down. Step your left foot to the top of the mat to find your fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down, drop the feet, lift the heart, Utkatasana. Maybe you bring a little challenge, sinking deeper. Palms together overhead. Inhale, splash up tall. Let your gaze follow your fingers. Exhale, dive, release, and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place your hands on the mat. Step, or if you're ready for it, hop back through Chaturanga, taking a flow. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Enjoy a clearing breath. Take a deep inhale. Open your mouth and let it go. From your downward facing dog, send your right leg high. Heel to butt, thigh to chest. Step your foot through. Spin your back heel down. We're rising Virabhadrasana 2. Checking in with the front knee. You want it tracking towards the pinky edge of the foot. And you want so much power in that back leg, you could almost ripple the mat. You're pulling it apart from the midline. Relax the shoulders a little bit. Now both palms flip up towards the sky. As you inhale, hands come together, legs are straight. Exhale, drop back in warrior two. Again, reach up, stretch up, two straight legs. Exhale, drop yourself into it. Reach up. Exhale, drop yourself into it. Flip your forward palm, tip up and back again. Keep reaching back, straighten through your front leg. We'll take it into Trikonasana. Pull your hips back, reach your fingers forward and tip in. Rise yourself back up, warrior two. Now from here, interlace your hands behind your back, warrior two legs. Draw the knuckles down. We're going to take it into a humble warrior by drawing your left shoulder forward, right hip back in space. This is going to be deep. Honor what you need. Pull your chest in. Start to bow. Let your head relax. Keep pressing through the outside edge of the back foot. Gently rise up, releasing your arms, front to back. Straighten through your front leg. You're going to pivot your right toes in just slightly. Left toes out, hands to your heart, and then sink into your left knee, Skandasana. You can keep that back foot anchored down, or you can spin so that your right toes are skyward. Elbow to the inside of the knee. Breathe. Rise up through center. Pivot your right toes forward again, sink in warrior two. One more time, flip the forward palm, tip up, tip back. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down, pause in a fingertip lunge, and toe heel your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Drop down onto your left knee. Keep your left hand anchored, right hand to your right thigh, and look up over your right shoulder, maybe using that hand to roll to the knife edge of your right foot, finding a lounge lizard twist. Pull the waist in to lift through the heart. Variation on this would be to squeeze your left heel towards your seat and reach around with the right hand to give it a little squeeze. Two more breaths. If you have a hold of your foot, release it. Use your right hand to help draw the knee back over the ankle. Toe heeling your foot back between your hands. Come up off of your back knee. Breathe in. As you exhale, lift your left toes to the sky, standing split. Think length through the back of your leg, length through your spine, not as much through that floating leg. Now you can stay here or on your exhale, crouching yogi, left knee behind right. And then inhale, length. Exhale, crouching. We'll do that one more time. Crouch in on the exhale. Wherever you're at, find your left foot down on the mat, forward folding at the top of the mat. Even weight through both feet. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release and fold. Press through your feet, root to rise. Reach up, hands to your heart, breathe out. Lift and spread the toes on your left foot. You're gonna be buoyant in that left leg. We're moving this into tree pose with your left foot as the anchor. So as you're ready, Right thigh pulls up and in towards the chest. And then you open your hip, land your right foot somewhere to the inside of the left leg. The key with this is to press into yourself. So the foot into the leg into the foot, and then energy from that point drawing both down into the ground and then up through your midline and out the crown of your head. Maybe your arms explore. Hands to heart center. Everybody draws the right knee forward, sets the right foot down next to the left so that the toes touch. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, sit your hips down and back, Utkatasana. We're taking another twist, this time hands to heart center, or the variation that we've already been playing with. If hands are at heart center, you pull the crown forward, take the elbow outside of your right thigh, and then press the palms into themselves to twist open. The variation we've already been working on is right hand at the hip, forearm outside of the left, and levering open that way. Fingertips on the left hand down towards the mat. Maybe we open our palms. Back to a regular chair pose, and then release to forward fold. We'll reset with a halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, choice to jump back and flow, or just come right to a downward facing dog. Before we move into that second side, toes together, knees wide, sink your hips down and back, child's pose. Now notice we've worked into the hips, particularly already into the right hip. What do you feel here? Nice breath out of your mouth. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, lift the hips down, facing dog. Inhale, send the left leg up. Exhale, pull it forward. Step your foot between your hands. Spin the back heel down. Rise up, warrior two. Both palms open. Before we start moving with our breath, just notice what it does for you with your palms open. My elbows soften a little bit. My shoulders relax a little bit. I can feel the ease in the strength of this posture. Now moving with our breath. Inhale, straight arms overhead, straight legs. Exhale, drop into warrior two. Again. The energy both lifting you up and grounding you down. After the third, you hold here. Flip your forward palm, tip up and back. Reaching up and out of the waist, push through your left leg, straighten it. Trikonasana. Left fingers forward, hips pull back, and we tip in. Send your right hand towards the back of the mat as you rise up, sinking into warrior two. Again, interlace your hands behind your back. Normally we come into humble from a warrior one. Coming in from two gives us more space in that hip. Draw the knuckles down, lift up through the heart, and then you mindfully bring your right shoulder forward, pull your left hip back in space, and then bow in. Shoulder towards the inside of the left knee. Relax the head. Does the sensation in your legs or the ease in your heart ask for your attention? Rise yourself back up. Hands to your heart. Straighten out that front leg. You're going to turn your left toes in. Angle your right toes out slightly and sink deep into your right hip, coming into the second pass at the Skandasana. Elbow to the inside of your right thigh, palms at your heart, and you can stay with your left foot anchored or spin your left toes up towards the sky. If your toes are up, bring them down. Push through both feet to rise. Back foot again, almost parallel to the mat. Front toes forward, back into warrior two. Flip your forward palm, tip up and back. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Fingertip lunge, hold. Toe heel your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Drop down on your right knee. Keep your right hand anchored, left hand to your thigh. Nice and tall. Exhale, we can look over the shoulder. This should be a long, lazy twist into the spine. Staying here, reaching back with your left hand to catch your right foot, offering a stretch into your right quad. Try not to dump into your waist, pulling your navel in. Slowly, if you have your foot, release it. Use your left hand to direct your left knee back over your ankle. Toe heel your foot between your hands. Come up off the back knee. Find that press in the four corners of your left foot. Breathe in. Exhale. Right toes high. And as your hips lift, your heart melts towards your left thigh. Breathing down the back of your left leg. Choices to play with balance, wrapping hands behind your shins, or moving with me on breath into crouching yogi. Inhale, toes reach. Exhale, two bent knees right behind left, crouch in. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, crouch in. Last one, reach long, breathe in. Exhale, crouch, linger for a beat. And then we'll all meet up in that forward fold at the top of the mat. Both legs evenly anchored. Release your head. Let's go opposite hand, opposite elbow behind the leg. Shake out through the head. The tension into the feet, and as they press down, can you lift up through the feet? Maybe bring your heart a little closer to the thighs. Release the grip of your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Press through your feet, bring it all the way up. Arms overhead, hands to your heart. This time your right foot holds you steady. Spread the toes, press them into the mat. Use your core to draw your left thigh up and into the chest, opening into tree pose. Left foot to the inside of the leg. In tree, you always want to avoid putting pressure on the inside of the knee. And once you make the connection through the feet, let that be the epicenter. Press in, energy drawing down into the mat, and then coming back up and radiating through your body to grow. Tree pose is one of my favorite shapes to kind of feel playful and exploratory. So maybe you go right at the fringes of what feels comfortable for you. Try something new or different just to feel the sensation. Just to feel into what's authentic and unique. Hands find their way back to your heart. Draw your left knee forward and land your left foot on the mat next to the right, toes slightly touching. Inhale, sweep arms up. Utkatasana, sink your hips down and back. Setting up for your twist, hands either at the heart or left hand to your hip, right hand to the outside of the thigh. When you're ready, use your exhale to take the twist towards the left side. Check in with your knees. You want to make sure that they're together. So you don't want that right knee jetting out, which means right hip pulls back in space to give you that rotation. Keep breathing. Back to neutral, hands to your heart. As you press through your feet, send your fingers up, little back bend at the top. Look at the fingers. Back through neutral, release, dive, and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down. You choose, flow or not, we'll meet in a down dog. From your down dog, we'll take a slow walk. Continue to open the backs of the legs to the top of the mat. Take your time. See if you can keep your hands planted. On your way there, arriving in that fold at the top of the mat. Hands to your hips. Track the elbows back. Come halfway up. Breathe out. Pressing through your feet. Rise all the way up. Arms by your sides. Tadasana. Let's pause here for a moment and revisit our intentions. What's it like to be you right now? Let what you feel in this moment be what guides the next moment. Bring hands back to your hips. Step your left foot back about midway back on the mat. Left toes angled slightly. Right toes directed forward. With your hands on your hips, you can feel your hips directed forward. Grasshoppering the elbows back. Start lifting through the chest. Now, this isn't a collapse behind the heart. It's a lift. And then press your thumbs into your sacrum. Draw your right hip back. Nudge the left hip forward and start to bow in. Pyramid pose. We'll come to that halfway mark. Pause, draw the waist in, pull the tail away from the crown. And then on the exhale, we'll come to the depth that feels like the sensation that your body needs right now. You can keep hands at your hips, or you can release your fingertips down to the mat, or you can reach back and interlace your hands behind your left thigh and use that connection to lengthen the spine and deepen the fold. Relax your head and breathe. Now, if this feels good and you want to stay right here, please do so. If you want to come with me for the twist, bring your right hand to your hip. Your left hand comes down to the mat, either to the inside of your right foot, the top of your right foot, or the outside. You can also use a block here. We'd find that halfway lift again. Really get the length. Use the exhale. Pull the navel against the spine and look up over your shoulder. So we're twisting to the right. We're anchored through both feet. Maybe you stretch. Right arm to the sky. If your body is enjoying this, stay with it. If you want to come into a revolved half moon, level off again. Extend your fingers about 12 inches in front of your toes. Come up off the back heel and then lift. Get the length and then peek up over your right shoulder again. Maybe stretching your right hand towards the sky. So we're proud of wherever we are, and we're following what feels most authentic. If you're twisted or in a half moon, find your way out. Everybody comes back to that pyramid posture. Half lift through the spine. Again, come up off the ball of the back foot. Start to shift the weight forward. Warrior 3, first with fingers down. And then maybe your right hand comes to that block. There will be sensation in your leg. Breathe through it. Start to send your left hand to left hip, stacking your left hip on top of the right. Ardha Chandrasana, the half moon. Now press out through your heel, grow long through your crown, and let this shape radiate from heart center, bringing it into Warrior Two when you're ready. Straighten through your front leg, pivot all your toes toward the left edge of the mat. Palms open, lift up through the heart, wide leg fold. Half lift, toe heel your feet in so that you're in a fold facing the left edge of the mat. From here, rise onto the balls of your toes, the balls of your feet onto your toes, and sink your hips down to your seat. Fingertips are anchored. Then you start to walk them around towards the top edge of the mat so that your left tricep comes outside your right knee. Now you might stay somewhere on that journey, or you might bring hands all the way around. Pull your left hip back in space, pull your waist in. Start to look forward, staying here, or planting your hands firm, tracking the elbows in and looking towards the top of the mat as you rock the weight forward and lift your toes. Breathe. When we try hard things, it can be hard to stay with that beauty, pride, and authenticity. From here, you're going to spin it around, stepping your feet to the back of the mat, downward facing dog. From down dog, roll forward, high plank. Lower and flow. We hit the reset button. Nice slow walk to the top of the mat. Clearing breath in and out. Hands draw to your hips. Take the halfway lift, empty the air, and then rise all the way up. Arms by your sides. Over and over again, we're asked to show up for ourselves. Hands to your hips, track the elbows back. Step your right foot back, about that halfway mark, angling the toes out. Use your hands to direct your hips forward, pressing through both feet. Pull the waist in to lift up through the heart. Building length and space, bow forward. Using the breath, we lengthen on the inhale, we deepen on the exhale. Take the variation with your hands in this first pyramid. Stay as you are or start to move it into revolve. Left hand back at the hip, nice and tall. Use a block if you need it. Peeking up over your left shoulder. Maybe stretching fingers. I'm going to pass on this side, but if you want to take it into a revolved half moon, square yourself off first before you come into that floating leg. Use your breath and honor what you need. If you're revolved in any way, start to bring yourself out. Everybody into the pyramid fold. You can't be locked out in that knee because we're going to start to shift the weight forward, coming up off the back heel. Fingertips down as you lift heel. so that you're in this supported warrior 3, pressing through your left foot, right hand, right hip, stack your right hip on top of your left, opening up into an Ardha Chandrasana. You will be feeling this in your leg. I am. Just breathe. We're going to land at Warrior 2 as we're ready. Straighten out through the front leg. Pivot your toes toward the right edge of the mat. This time, interlace hands behind you. Draw the knuckles down. Lift up through the chest and bow forward. Release your hands down. Take a half lift and start to toe heel your feet underneath of your shoulders. You're going to rise onto the balls of your feet, bending your knees so that your seat comes down towards your heels. Staying here, starting to walk your hands around towards the top of the mat, meeting yourself where you're at. Go to the place where you feel like there's work to be done, and then give it your attention. If that means lifting your toes, you're going to plant your hands. You want to look forward, not down. Track elbows in, and then rock your weight to follow your gaze to lift your toes. Wherever you are, pull the waist in and breathe. If your toes are off the ground, bring them down. Everybody spins the hips toward the back of the room. Step back, downward facing dog. Rolling forward, final flow. Toes together, knees wide, child's pose. And we're going to meet in a seat in about 4 or 5 breaths. Take your time to get there. If you want to pit stop for some cats and cows along the way, go for it. And once you make your way around to a seat towards the top of the mat, you're going to extend your left leg off to the side, bringing your right foot to the inside of the thigh. Spine is tall. There's a little forward tilt in the sacrum. Now bring your left hand by your left hip so that you can draw left shoulder back. Flex your toes. Draw yourself back so your shoulders are squared over your thigh. And then let your right hand slide down towards the outside of the left leg, taking a fold. So it's even fold through both shoulders, even pressure through both sit bones, and release your head down. Roll yourself up. Keep your right knee bent. You're going to bring your left leg to the outside. So you stack your knees on top. Now, if this is too much, you want to extend your right leg out long. But you want your knees stacked. And the further your feet are away from your seat, the deeper you're going to feel this into your hip. This is a different kind of hip opener. Now you can stay just like this, or you can hug, opposite hand, opposite shoulder. Or you can take your left arm out to the side, bringing your left hand behind the nape of your neck. Your right arm is going to extend out, thumb down, and reach behind you. You can grab for shirt, or you can clasp your fingers. Pull the waist in, keep pressing through the seat and lifting through the crown. This is a nice counter to that side crow that we took. Release your bottom arm first, and then your top. Left hand behind you, right hand to the outside of your left thigh, and just a really soft twist. Back towards center. Use your hands to bring your legs out of this twist. Extend your right leg long, left foot to the inside of the thigh. Hands right behind your hips to lift your seat and shift so that you're nice and tall. And then bring your right hand outside your right thigh. Left hand with a tall spine comes to the right leg. Draw your right hip back in space and slide the left hand down the outside of your right leg to evenly fold. Roll yourself back up, making the adjustment to come into the Gomukhasana second side, stacking your right knee on top of your left. Even weight through both sits bones, extending your bottom leg out long if it makes the shape more accessible to you. Nice and tall. And again, you can stay just like this, hugging through the shoulders, or send your right arm off to the side, reach up, bring your right hand to the nape of the neck, tracking the tricep along the side of your face. Left arm extends out, thumb down, and reach back behind you. So we snuggle everything in along our side bodies. Pull the waist in, reaching up and out through the crown. And there's a flex in both feet. Breathe. Release your bottom arm out first, and then the top. Right hand behind your hip, left hand outside the thigh. Super soft twist. Back to center. Use your hands to help your legs out of this. Feet mat width distance. Lean back on your hands. You can direct your fingertips toward the back of the mat and just softly windshield wiper. We worked a lot in our hips. So notice how that feels. And then with your feet planted, nice and slow, reach your arms out in front of you. Go ahead and recline down. And stretch the arms overhead, reach out through your feet. Big breath of arrival. Collect your knees into your chest. Give them a little squeeze and a rock side to side. And then relax your arms by your sides, palms open. Stretch your legs up. The knees will be soft, and you're going to play with finding that spot where your legs just hover in space. And your low back is supported. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Let your jaw relax. Imagine all the energy in your legs pouring down, headed towards nourishing at heart center. You're welcome to stay just like this as long as you need. When you're ready, you can pull the knees back into the chest. And you can either head right into Shavasana, or maybe you take a pit stop in Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of feet together, knees wide. One hand at your heart and one hand at your belly. Feeling brave enough, proud enough to be authentic and to honor what you are and what you need. To feel the freedom of fully surrendering yourself to simply what is. Understanding that undeniably you are enough. Each of us flawed perfection. Body, heart, and mind giving way to the rest of Shavasana. If you have the time and the space to stay and rest, I invite you to do so as long as you need. If you're ready to move on, begin the transition slowly, starting with fingers and toes. And if you feel ready, rolling onto one side. We'll pause here with the head cradled in your arm and your knees softly bent in the perfect support. With your eyes closed, remember the intention that you set for yourself at the beginning of practice. Thank yourself for it. You took the time, you made the space, and you put forth the effort to show up for yourself. Find comfort and gratitude in that. And wherever you are, imagine that there's somebody else out there that did the same. Take a moment to acknowledge the light and the love that's within you. And then acknowledge that those around you and someone else out there has that same light and that same love in them. We can extend that loving energy and gratitude out into the world and beyond our mat. And though I'm not with you, I feel you. I finish by bowing and acknowledging with a smile on my face that that light and that love that's in me sees and honors the light and the love that's in each of you. Namaste.